So we changed the time to 8:30. So let's start now with the prayers. So I request all the devotees join me in prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome all the devotees on this auspicious occasion of the divine appearance of Lord Shri Balaram. And we started our discussion to understand about the Balaram Tattva yesterday. And we discussed that how Balaramji is not different from Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And Balaramji is the first expansion of Krishna, and he is the supreme personality of Sarvatar. Means the Krishna, the Supreme Lord, should be served in the best possible way, and to teach all of us conditioned soul that how to serve Krishna. The Krishna himself comes in the form of Balaramji, right? And he teaches by his example that how to best serve Krishna. Everything should be utilized in the service of Krishna. So we saw various, and then Balaramji is also known as the Guru Tattva. So spiritual master is actually the incarnation of Balaramji, right? So those are the few things we discussed yesterday. Today I thought of discussing few of the pastimes of Balaramji, beautiful pastimes. We'll listen some stories, small stories, and then we'll understand we'll take some insights, some lessons for all of us from those pastimes. Okay, so this is the pastime. One time when Balaramji, so as we all know in the Krishna Lila, and we'll be discussing that in the upcoming sessions, that how Krishna and Balaram, they left Vrindavan and they never returned back to Vrindavan. Right? And all the gopis and all the Vrindavan Brajvasis have always been very eagerly waiting for Krishna. They're just crying in, day out in separation of Krishna. And Krishna never returned back. So one time, the Balaramji came to Vrindavan just to pacify all the Brajvasis and especially the gopis. Though Krishna did not come, but Balaramji came. And then, he pacified all the Brajvasis. And then he drank the Varuni, which is like a kind of a special drink that all those, it's a heavenly drink, we can say. And after drinking, he wanted to take bath in Yamuna. But this Yamunaji, she was quite hesitant to allow Balaramji to take bath. And Balaramji was furious. So this is another Leela wherein Balaramji has to establish his supremacy, has to show his valor, his power. So when Yamunaji did not allow the Balaramji to take bath, then Balaramji was angry and he took his plow and he started to drag the whole Yamuna river. He put the plow like this and he started dragging, and then Yamuna was scared, put out completely. And then Yamuna Devi Yamuna personified, came out and then begged forgiveness and then allowed. So this is one pastime wherein Krishna, Balaramji, as we are discussing yesterday, Balaramji is the abode of all spiritual strength. So he's showing his physical strength also. He's all powerful Lord. So through this pastime, he shows that. Right. Now there is this beautiful pastime which gives a lot of lessons. So I thought we'll spend some time in discussing this pastime. So one time it so happened that Balaramji, he heard that all these Kurus, they were preparing for the war with the Pandavas. So now Balaramji being neutral, because he naturally, like the Pandavas are the devotees of the Lord, so they're definitely dear. But Duryodhana was also the disciple of Balaramji. Duryodhana was learning the lessons from Balaramji. So now Balaramji, can't take either of the side, either Pandavas or Kauravas. So he wanted to be neutral. So being neutral, what he did, he departed on the pretext of going to take bath in the holy rivers. So Balaramji did not participate in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So he departed from there. And then he went to the various holy places around the country in the whole of the Bharatvarsha. So he went to this Pravasha Kshetra, and there he took bath in the holy river, and then he honored the demigods, the sages, and the forefathers, and in the company of lot of Brahmanas. Then he finally later he went to the river Saraswati, and then he goes to river Saraswati, and then gradually was traveling one after another, and then finally he reached to this place called Namisha forest, which is famous as Namisharanya. And many of you might be aware that Namisharanya is a place where this conversation between the Suta Goswami and the sages of Namisharanya, and the Bhagavatam discussion happened there, right? So Balaramji reached there in the Namisha forest, and all these great sages, they were performing an elaborate sacrifice there. So as soon as the Balaramji came there, Balaramji entered there, then recognizing his arrival, all the great sages, they greeted him properly, and they stand up and then bowing down and worshipping him, and then they gave a nice seat to Balaramji to sit down there, and Balaramji nicely sat down on the seat, and then he noticed there's one person in the whole of assembly who did not show the proper etiquettes of respect. Who was that person? This person was Rom Harshan Suta. So he did not show proper respect, and he was sitting little arrogantly on the seat up high, and he just ignored the presence of Balaramji, who is worshipable for everyone there in the whole assembly, and he was sitting very arrogantly and on top of the seat, above all the Brahmanas. So when Balaramji saw this, Balaramji was furious. Balaramji was angry that who is this Rom Harshan Suta? He doesn't have the proper etiquette, right? And then Balaramji was thinking that this Suta was born from an improper mixed marriage, right? He was not a proper Brahmana. Actually, he was the son of the mixed, the Varna Shankar, like the Brahmana and some Shudra like that. That is how he was Suta. So Balaramji says, I need to teach him the lesson. This is not the way. He had to show the proper respect, and he failed to show the respect. So Balaramji, actually what he did, he took a small piece of grass, the kusha grass, and he hit him, this Rom Harshan Suta, on the tip of it, and then Rom Harshan Suta was dead right there. So now sometime this past time, some people, they make a lot of controversy out of this. Oh, what is big deal if we did not show the respect, that you cannot kill someone like that just because this person did not show the respect, he did not get up it, and how you can kill someone like that. So as we discussed yesterday, that Balaramji, he is the Guru Tattva, and Guru's Guru's job is to teach the people. So he wanted to teach the people by his own example, that someone who speaks Krishna Katha. So this Rom Harshan Suta was sitting on a Vyasa Asana. He's a representative of Vyasadeva, and actually speaking, he is the disciple of Vyasadeva, and such a qualified person. And he was there to speak about Krishna Katha. And Balaramji teaches through this example that if somebody speaks Krishna Katha, he should also practice what he speaks. It's not about his speaking big things. So this Rom Harshan Suta, he failed to practice. So the two things, one thing is presentation, and another thing is representation. So anyone who's sitting on the Vyasa seat as a speaker of Bhagavad Katha or Krishna Katha, right? So he's the representative of Vyasadeva. So presentation comes later, representation comes first. So you should be proper representative of Vyasadeva. Means we should practice. We have to show by your own example that we are practicing first, and then we will speak. Presentation is easy to, some people might be having some material skill and they will make nice presentation, they're a good orator, they'll speak nicely and all of that. And we see that, especially in India, there's a lot of professional reciters you will see. They're very expert in, telling and the stories like that. So it's not about presentation, it is about representation. So Balaramji wanted to teach everyone that if you are sitting there to speak Krishna Katha, first you should practice. It is just like, if we had the best of the smartphone, but there is no reception in the phone, there is no connection in the phone, what is the use? It might be very smart. So sometimes the people, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, he might be very smart in speaking, but there is no connection with Krishna. What is the use? So this Romaharshan Sutta represents that kind of a person who's very good in speaking there, sitting on the high seat, but not practicing, not showing the proper etiquettes to show respect. When Balaramji entered there, he just ignored his presence. Right? So Balaramji showed by this example, he killed him, that you are not fit to be here sitting on the seat. Right? So this is Guru. Guru means, the actually literal meaning of Guru means heavy, is very heavy. Sometimes Guru has to be very, very strict, because Guru can't be lenient. If he's lenient, then sometimes he won't be able to teach the disciples. So in order to teach the disciples, that Guru sometimes has to be very, very strict. All right. And then Balaramji's analysis is given the Srimad Bhagavatam. When he saw this Romaharshan Sutta sitting and failed to show the respect, and Balaramji analyzed his situation. And this has been recorded by Vedvyasa in the 10th kind of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 78, text 25 and 26. What is Balaramji's analysis? Is very nice. I'll just read this verse. It says, Risher Bhagavato Bhutva Sishyo Aditya Bahuncha Se Itihasa Puranani Dharma Shastrani Sarvashaha Adantasya Vinitasya Vrata Panditamanina Na Gunaya Bhavantisma Natashyeva Jitatmanaha. So Balaramji is saying this Romaharshan Sutta, he's a disciple of the Vyasadeva, very learned. Say Itihasa Puranani, he knows all the scriptures very well versed in all the scriptures. Okay. But all these studies of all the scriptures has not produced any good qualities in him. Rather, his study of the scriptures is like an actor's studying his part, for he is not self-controlled or humble, and vainly presumes himself a scholarly authority, though he has failed to conquer his own mind. So Balaramji's analysis about this Romaharshan Sutta. And Lord just killed him. So this is what it happened. And then as soon as Lord killed him, then there was an uproar in the whole assembly, and all the Brahmanas, they cried out, Alas, alas, oh dear master, what you have done? You have killed a Brahmana. And this is the same Brahmana that we gave him such a seat as a speaker. And we blessed him just now with long life and all his strength. And what will happen? You have just killed him. So like that they were talking. And then the Lord, Balaramji also, though he's beyond all of those rules and regulations of this material world, but is still just to show by his personal examples, he asked the Brahmanas, okay, so I've done this, tell me what can be done now. If you want, then I can bring him back to the life. But then the Brahmanas, they considered the position of Balaramji, and they say, my dear Lord, whatever you have done, that is correct only, but for the sake of teaching others, you should do some atonement for this. Right? So then Lord Balaramji asked, okay, you, O Brahmanas, you only suggest me what should be the atonement for this. Then they say that you should help us. First, there is one demon, Balbala. He every now and then he keeps coming and he disturbs our sacrifices. He throws some obnoxious stuff in our sacrificial arena, some pus, urine, some meat and all that, and he disturbs our sacrifice, so we are not able to perform our sacrifices. So you should kill. That will be the atonement. And after that, for 1 year, you should go to all the pilgrimage places and do some atonement. So like that. And then at the same time, our blessings, our words also should be intact, because just few minutes back, we have blessed him with long life. We have blessed him with all strength, and you just killed him. So what will happen to our words? Now the Brahmana's words, Brahmana's blessings should not go in vain like that. So please consider that also. So then Balaramji says, Actually, the person's his own self comes in the form of his own son. So I'll bless his son, which is Sut Goswami, who was also sitting in that assembly. He says, I'll bless his son with long life and all the spiritual strength and good health and everything. And then he should become the speaker of Bhagavata. So that is how the Sut Goswami became the speaker. And then there is a discussion between Sut Goswami and the sages in the Naimisharanya, right? Which the Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are originally discussing about that. Right? So this is a lesson that we learn from Balaramji, that how powerful he is. Number one, that he took one small piece of kusha grass and killed this, untrained, unqualified person to teach by his example that if somebody who doesn't practice and pose himself as if he is the authority, then I'm not going to tolerate this. So this is one beautiful pastime that we learn, and there's a lesson for all of us, because sometimes we can talk all big things. We read something and we know something theoretically, and then we can talk all big things. But most importantly, how much we practice that. That is the point. Right? Now this Balaramji, another beautiful pastime, like Balaramji plays a different roles. Right. So one of the role in one of the pastime, he acts as a mediator also. So one time, this is a beautiful pastime, this story, wherein the Samba is the son of Krishna. So one time, Samba kidnapped the daughter of Duryodhana, Lakshmana. So he kidnapped, and they're staying together. And then this Duryodhana, the Kauravan party, they realized that where is this daughter missing? And they figured out somehow after a few months that the Sama is kidnapped. They were in some kind of a loving affair, both of them, and they're staying together. So then they realized that he has kidnapped. So immediately, and this Duryodhana, the Kauravas, they sent 5 people, and they say, go and capture the Samba. But when they were going, the Bhishma was sitting there, and Bhishma Deva said, hey, wait, you're going, just be careful there. Don't kill Samba. You will be in great trouble. And in fact, Bhishma Deva, when speaking this, he was speaking out of his own experience, right? We know the story in the Mahabharata that how Bhishma Deva kidnapped those 3 girls, and later so many things happened. We are not getting into that story. But yes, so Bhishma Deva said, don't kill this, capture him, arrest him. So they goes and they identified him. They located him where is the Samba hiding with the daughter Lakshmana. And when all these people, the Kauravas and party, they came, and then Sama was also very, very powerful Kshatriya, and he fought valiantly, and he almost defeated all the Kauravas, but at the end, the Kauravas managed to capture him. So they arrested him, and when they arrested Sama, the news spread and goes to Dwarka. And you can guess who took the news? Anybody can guess here? Can put in the chat. Okay, so that news was given by none other than the Narada. So Narada is such a devotee. No, in Dwarika, the news goes to Krishna and Balaram and all the Dwarka Vasis by Narada Muni that your son Sama is arrested. So Narada Muni is such a devotee. He always comes in the Leela of the Lord to enhance the rasa. So he goes and he says, oh, Sama is arrested. You should do something about that. And immediately the Ugrasen Maharaj, he says, immediately all of you should be ready and go and attack all these Kauravas. What they think of themselves, how they can kidnap our boy. So that is when this Balaramji comes. He says, hey, hold on, cool down. Don't be too, aggressive and fired up. Wait, let me go there and I'll handle this case. I know Duryodhana, and Duryodhana is my disciple and he listens to me. So I'll go there and I'll just find some solution without, even getting into the fight. So he goes to the Hastinapur and he put his camp outside the Hastinapur, and then he sent the news that Balaramji is here. So as soon as this Duryodhana and other people, they heard, Duryodhana immediately, he came along with all other Kauravas, and he just, honored him and worshipped him and give all the respect to him. And all of that happened. And then Balaramji says that I heard that you captured the Sama. Please bring him back here. Release him immediately. So now this Kaurav, especially the Duryodhana, though he accepted Balaramji as his guru, This is the demonic mentality. When anything comes against his own desire and his own will, then he goes against even his own guru. So Balaramji, when he asked to release the Samba, Duryodhana was furious. He says, how you can ask us to release? He kidnapped our daughter. We are not going to do this. Forget it. Just get lost. And then Duryodhana did not pay any heed to what Balaramji requested. And then he came with the whole of, Kauravas back to Hastinapur. And then when they came to Hastinapur, soon they realized that there was a kind of an earthquake. The whole of the Hastinapur was shaking literally. And they were wondering, like, what is this happening? And then somebody came running and they said, hey, this Balaramji is actually, with his plow, he's dragging the whole of the city of Hastinapur and putting into the river. He's about to put into the river. Do something about this. So Balaramji showed his power there, that if you don't listen to me, then I can show what I can do. So this Balaramji literally dragging the whole city of Hastinapur, and he was just about to throw it into the, the river. And then Duryodhana came to senses. He says, hey, I should not, take unnecessary, touchal against Balaramji. And he comes and fell at feet. He says, okay, please forgive me, and we'll release the Samba. They release the Samba. Right? So this is what it is. So Balaramji actually is always there, to establish the position of Krishna. That Krishna is supreme, and Krishna has asked me to bring the Samba back, and you have to listen, you have to follow that. Right. So as a Guru Tattva, Balaramji, as like we see in the life of Prabhupada also, Prabhupada's life's mission is only and only about establishing the supremacy of Krishna. Wherever Prabhupada goes, talk, no matter what kind of assembly is sitting, he is always, trying, always, whatever Prabhupada does, just to establish the position of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. One time, Prabhupada was in one of the Kumbh Mela, and if some of you might have seen the Kumbh Mela, this lot of, they called it Akhada, like, all kinds of spiritual organizations, they come together, and their gurus, their acharyas, or their mathadipati, the head of that particular organization, they goes in a procession, and they put that acharya on the top of the elephant, and they goes in a procession singing and doing different kind of whatever their way of doing. So one time when all these devotees, American devotees with Prabhupada were in the Kumbh Mela, they saw all kinds of procession, different gurus sitting on the top of the elephant, and they're taking the procession like that. So then immediately they told that Prabhupada, one day we also will take the procession in the Kumbh Mela, and then we'll make you sit on the top of the elephant, and we'll follow like this procession, we'll follow you. And immediately Prabhupada says, no, we'll put Krishna on the top of the elephant, and we all will follow. So you see that Prabhupada, he never wanted to be in the focus. He always wanted to bring Krishna in the focus. He always wanted to bring Krishna at the center of this is what is the Krishna consciousness. So the Balaramji, the Guru Tattva, and Prabhupada is such a pure devotee, such a bona fide guru, spiritual master. So he also shows. Right? In fact, Prabhupada was very, very intelligent. Like when Prabhupada was translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, that at one point he realized that he probably might not be able to complete all of the Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses, because of his old age and his health issues and all of that. And Prabhupada thought that, okay, let me finish the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam first, the summary study of 10th canto, which is full of Krishna's Leela, Krishna Leela, what we are discussing now. So the 10th canto is exclusively about the Krishna's pastimes. So Prabhupada, what he did, he gave the summary study of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the Krishna Leela, in the form of Krishna book. So many of you might be familiar with this Krishna book by Prabhupada. So beautifully Prabhupada has given the whole summary of the 10th canto. So Prabhupada was always in that mood to establish Krishna's supremacy. Right? Now another feat of Balaramji we can see here. Balaramji's marriage. Right. So there's this in the Satyuga, this king called the Revata. So this Revata king who was having a daughter, very excellent in all respects. So he was looking for a right match, the suitable match for his daughter. He couldn't find one. Then he thought, okay, let me go to Brahmaji and ask the suitable match. Probably he can suggest me someone. So he goes and just spends some few moments talking. That he goes with the daughter, And then he says, Brahmaji, please, suggest someone who can be the right match for my daughter. And Brahmaji says, you came here, but you'll be shocked to know that in just few moments on the Earth planet, there's many, hundreds and thousands of years has passed by already. So when you go back, the whole ages have changed, the whole age and the whole generations have changed. So at this point, it is a Dwapar Yuga going on there. And in the Dwapar Yuga, this Balaramji is the suitable match. So you go and request to Balaramji. So now this King Revata, along with his daughter, comes to Balaramji and he proposed that, can you please accept my daughter as your wife? But now in the Satyuga, the people were much larger in their physical, build-up. And in Dwapar Yuga, they're much shorter. So then Balaramji looked at that, why, she is such a tall lady, how can I marry? So what Balaramji did, again Balaramji take the plow and then, shrink the Revati to the proper size, and they got married. So here also we see this kind of, extraordinary feat. Nobody can show all that. So that shows that Balaramji, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then that is how he got married. So this is what is the Balaramji. So yesterday we were talking about Balaram, the meaning of Balaram. So Bala means the spiritual strength. So Balaramji, as a Guru Tattva, as a Guru, he gives us the spiritual strength to practice Krishna consciousness. And not only he gives us the strength, but he gives us the Rama. Rama means, yesterday we saw, Ramante Yogino Anante Satyananda Chidatmane. So he gives a lot of pleasure. And pleasure, or we can say it, he gives us a lot of taste for practicing bhakti. So somebody have a lot of strength to practice bhakti, but then there is no taste, like we are chanting, no taste coming. We are reading, we are listening to this Katha, but there's no taste coming, then it doesn't last long, right? You need a lot of taste also. So this Balaramji, he gives the strength and he gives the taste. So that is the meaning of the Balaram. And then Balaram is known as Balbhadra. Balbhadra means he brings all auspiciousness. Bhadra means auspiciousness. As we sing, Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. When we listen to Krishna Katha, then all kinds of Abhadra. Abhadra means inauspiciousness from the heart is vanished. So Bhadra means auspiciousness. So Balbhadra means he brings all auspiciousness. And then Sankarshana. So yesterday we heard that Sankarshana means he attracts. This is one of the meaning of the Sankarshana. Akarshana. Akarshana means attracting someone. So this Balaramji is very expert in attracting Krishna from wherever Krishna is. So Balaramji attracted Krishna in the womb of Devaki. So Krishna came as the 8th son and Balaramji came as the 7th son. So when Balaramji came in the womb, that is when Krishna got attracted to the womb of Devaki. And we see in the Chaitanya Leela also, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in this Pani Hadi pastime, right? Nityananda Prabhu is none other than the Balaramji himself. And he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mysteriously. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not present there in the Pani Hadi, but then he invited and suddenly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes there. So Balaramji attracts Krishna. So when we receive the blessings of Balaramji, then probably we'll be also able to, by the blessings of Balaramji, we'll also be able to attract Krishna into our heart, into our life. Right? And then Balaramji's another name is Ananta. Ananta means he is unlimitedly, limitless service and limitless glorification of the Lord. So this is Ananta. Another name of Balaramji is Haludhar. Haludhar means who's having the hala. Hala means plow. So now this plow, you will see that all the farmers, those who cultivate the land, they carry the plow. So Balaramji's plow actually represents that, he uses his plow to make our heart, to plow our heart, a suitable place to cultivate our bhakti. Right? So cultivate the land, you need the plow to make it a proper place to grow something. Similarly, Balaramji, by his plow, he plow our heart and make it a suitable place so that we can grow our bhakti. And then he is carrying his Gadadhar also. So Gada is like the mace. So that shows that Balaramji is always ready to remove all the obstacle which comes on the path of bhakti. Right. So that is what is the Balaramji's mercy. The Guru's mercy is a Guru Tattva, very, very important. Without Guru's mercy, we cannot cultivate, we cannot grow our bhakti. And we cannot, by our own strength, we cannot remove any obstacle which comes on the path of bhakti, which will invariably will come. That happens only by the mercy of Guru. So the Balaramji and the guru like a spiritual master, and they're very expert, employing and growing our bhakti. So this beautiful pastime of Srila Prabhupada, that one time, this devotee, Prabhupada asked them to cook for the deities, and then the devotee was trying to make the puris. So when he was making the puris, somehow these devotees are also very new and Westerners. They were not, really well versed with making all kinds of things like that. So somehow this puri was not, puffing up, and is becoming very hard and thick. So then Prabhupada came to the kitchen and he says, why this puri is not puffing? This is not the puri then, if it is not puffing. Puri means it should puff nicely. So this devotee was trying to, give some excuse and giving some explanation. He says, Prabhupada, this atta is not good. This flour is not good. So then Prabhupada immediately, he took the atta, the same atta, and then Prabhupada started rolling and, frying the puris, and every single puri was puffing up. And this devotee was amazed. And then he looked at, he said, Prabhupada, you can make nice puris also. And then Prabhupada gave a wonderful reply. He says, I can make the nice puris from the bad atta. I can make the nice puris from bad atta, and I can make the nice devotees from bad people. That is Prabhupada's expertise. If anybody, get in touch with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, no matter what our background is, from what background we come, but we can become a wonderful devotee by following the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, who is the representative of the Balaramji, who is a Guru Tattva. Right? So these are the few pastimes I thought of sharing with all the devotees here. We have more pastimes. We'll see if we can discuss a little more about Balaramji tomorrow. So today, on this auspicious occasion, let us all pray together to Balaramji, to Krishna Balaram, to Srila Prabhupada, to bless all of us so that we can practice very sincerely and we can grow our bhakti. The Krishna bhakti, the Krishna consciousness can grow into our heart by the blessings of Balaramji, Krishna Balaram, and Srila Prabhupada.